I really enjoy making films about expeditions and adventures, and this was a story of a group of South Africans who were going to Alaska to climb the highest mountain in North America, Denali.
The team members are expedition leader Alex Harris, his deputy Sean Disney. Deshawn Daisel is the only female. Dr. Errol Gottlisch is the team doctor. David Kerr, climber. Robin Walshaw, climber. Michael Aldous, computer specialist. And Sean Wisedale will once again document the expedition. Wisedale and Aldous will attempt to satellite feed footage from the mountain for daily television and website updates in South Africa.
Well, we're about to start a small journey that's been taking about a decade in the making. But I say small because compared to the next year, it is a small part of it, and that's setting off to Alaska to climb Denali, which is North America's highest mountain, and it's preparation for next year, the big one, Everest. So we're excited, we're keen, and we're finally getting to this thing.
Situated only 4 degrees south of the Arctic Circle, Denali is one of the coldest mountains on Earth.
We can expect very cold conditions, probably on average colder than we'll experience on Everest, other than the one summit day, and bad weather.
Conditions that prevent 6 of every 10 climbers who attempt Denali from reaching the top. This is Sean Disney's 3rd attempt, and Dr. Errol Gottlisch will be kept busy too.
Altitude sickness, nausea, vomiting, exhaustion, cold injury.
The team's first stop is to collect their high-altitude down suits and jackets for protection from the freezing temperatures.
These are actually insulating suits for Everest and pretty much any Himalayan climbing. These are 800 fill, quality down. Be worn as an external layer for any time that it's cold, primarily for the summit bid or sitting around camp.
I reckon awesome. I reckon it's time to get these on and have like a buddy rumble.
From Seattle, it's off to Anchorage, Alaska.
Wow, awesome.
The 4-hour flight becomes an unforgettable voyage.
We're in Alaska at last after touring the Northwest and flying all over the states. We've arrived and this is where it is, the land of the grizzly and the big halibut. And guys are revved and excited.
I'm happy.
We're about as far from South Africa as you can get in any direction. So we're going to have fun.
It's pretty awesome. Stark but awesome. White snow and some brown grasslands and I'm looking forward to it. Quite exciting.
It's awesome just getting a sense of how big and how wild and how cold it is out there.
From Anchorage, a 6-hour drive leads to Talkeetna. From here, a short flight will ferry all the supplies and the team to the base camp of Denali. The sheer weight of climbing gear and personal items is always a problem when flying into mountainous regions. The airline limits every climber to 30 kilos, and the best way to get around that problem is to wear the extra weight. The 1-hour flight to Denali Base Camp is the last travel leg, and what an experience it is. As the terrain gains in altitude, so the tree line disappears and becomes nothing more than rock and ice. And that's it on the horizon. Denali, the Athabaskan Indian name for the High One.
The boys are finally down here, right? Man!
That was such a spectacular ride. I could have easily just come for the ride. It's nice. Very good.
And just looking around these mountains, it's an amazing place. It really is.
The weather's looking better than I've seen before. They reckon it's going to hold for the next couple of days, and I've never had such a clear flight coming in here, so I think we're in for good weather. I think the first people summited yesterday, and they were on the mountain for 14 days. Last time I was here, I was on the mountain for 16 days, so we'll see how it goes.
A broad view over base camp reveals what flying in and out of Denali is all about. Minutes later, a rescued climber is evacuated with acute mountain sickness. The route to the summit is via 4 camps. Camp 1 at 7,800 feet, then Camp 2 at 9,000, Camp 3 at 11,000, Camp 4 at 14,000, and Camp 5 at 17,060 feet, and then to the summit at 20,320 feet. To carry enough supplies for that many days, the team haul plastic sleds laden with their food, tents, fuel, and survival gear. It's a slow and heavy slog, and it's only the scenery that helps compensate for the grueling haul up the Kahiltna Glacier. In this vast terrain, the team literally vanishes into the snowscape. Every extra gram of weight carried means less of a chance of making the summit. And for Mike Aldous, looking more like a surgeon here than a climber, and for Sean Wisedale, their loads are almost doubled by 2 satellite phones, a laptop computer, 3 video cameras, and enough batteries and solar panels to keep them running. The camp is always a welcome sight, especially since it's the time to brew up a cup of alpine tea, rest your aching muscles, and eat as much camping food as you can get down.
Melting snow for the day's events, no running water up here. been to this barbecue plenty of times, and mind you, a barbecue right now wouldn't be bad because I've just whacked down a swift bowl of oats.
After that, it's heads down for a well-deserved nap. That's if you can in the 20 hours of sunlight, and only if you're well organized for the next day.
It was quite an experience setting up tent last night. It took a long time to get the snow walls erected and the space prepared. Really showed our inexperience in the sense that it took us a long time to get our food cooked and water done. But eventually it got done and had a good night's sleep.
Yesterday was long, not bad. I think we were trying to get our rhythm together, you know, with Alex, myself and Robin on the rope. And I was right at the back, and I think just me being a lot slower than Alex and him having longer legs and, you know, just generally being stronger than me, it took him a while to get into my pace. But after a while we got our rhythm and it was fine. Yeah, I'm feeling strong today, feet are fine, so I'm looking forward to a nice trek today.
There's nothing nice about Ski Hill up in the distance. It's an hour of arduous hauling that tests the fittest of athletes. The objective for these first few days is to feel out a comfortable pace, allowing the body to find its own rhythm, adapting to the extremities of this hostile environment, and acclimatizing to the thinning air as you gradually move higher.
Steep hill. Awful snowshoes.
A few hours later, the team got their first full view of the top. It looks so close, but everyone knows that it's literally weeks away.
We're about 2.5 hours into our walk, come up a very steep section, which was a bit of an experience, but we've had our lunch break and we're feeling a bit charged up, so we're going to head out now for our second part, and hopefully we'll be in camp in around 2 or 3 hours time.
Errol has been fighting his own personal battle. He's developed a problem with his feet.
The only thing that's bothering me is still my blisters, but it's just a mild sort of ache, nothing more than that. It seems to be under control, so I'm feeling fine.
In this enormous wilderness, everyone is dehydrating rapidly and their energy is being sapped. Only 2 days after leaving base camp, the quicker climbers are being separated from the slower ones. And for the fast, there's a spare moment to take in the beauty of the surroundings.
We've just got into 10,300 feet, and guys are doing pretty well. The weather is excellent. In my previous 2 times here, I've never seen the ocean.
The route to Camp 3 runs via the Kahiltna Pass, notorious for bad weather. When the sun's shining and there's no wind blowing, the conditions are ideal.
And the weather's great. I've never seen it this good before. It should be about 4 hours into 11,000 from here.
When the weather's like this, it's ideal for covering ground. But in the back of everyone's mind, there is also a secret wish for a bit of foul weather to spend some time recovering in the tents.
Lordy, this sled's heavy.
Camp 3 is nestled in a bowl and is surrounded by steep snow slopes that are prone to avalanches. The last few hundred meters into the camp are the steepest and the most exhausting after the long day's haul. Errol Gottlisch, David Kerr and Mike Alders arrived and started scouting for a tent site to build their protective snow walls. It takes much time and energy, and that energy needs to be replaced.
So some peanuts, some raisins, some Smarties or M&Ms. What more can you ask for?
Oh.
Made a room with a view. It's beautiful, man. Been digging hard, eh? Now I'm going to put up my tent. I'm going to look down into the Alaskan plains.
Robin and Alex are paired up with Dashawn, and they're encouraging her into the camp. She's taking strain, and the frustration of not being able to move at their pace is beginning to show.
Don't fall!
It's taken a back-breaking 6-hour slog to get here.
That was good. That was a good slog actually.
Wait. Oh, you've got it.
With the packs on soft snow, it makes it hard going actually. Dacian did actually fantastically. Because she's pulling a lot more according to her muscle to weight ratio than we are, so she did very well.
It's been a good day. It's been a good 3 days. We're on the third day and we're settling down. Kit's getting broken in. Realizing that we need to move slowly, but at the same time stay hydrated. So we're drinking about 3.5 liters of water a day now, and still it's not enough. You arrive at these camps and you're hellish thirsty. And like the ranger said before we left, if you're thirsty when you arrive, it's too late. You've got to really try and prevent yourself from being thirsty.
What makes it difficult staying hydrated here is the time it takes to boil the water.
Hey, drinking some lemon iced tea. It's mixed with some cold water. Delicious.
Jack up the stove and a cup of soup at 11,000 on a hot day, and away we go.
It's going well. Been boiling up for the last 3 hours and eventually refilled our water bottles. But it's a stunning night. I just feel like sitting out here. I feel like we're going to make some supper just now, some grub. I think we're going to have couscous, eh? Couscous. Lekker.
How's it going, Dashawn?
I'm okay. I just had a nice little bit of rest and I'm about to eat something. So my body's being replenished. Not sure if I want to make it up that steep hill tomorrow, but we'll see when the day comes, eh?
Once everyone is settled, Alex goes about checking everyone's health.
Okay, otherwise I'm fine.
No, that's cool.
Need a day of not walking in those streets. I can just get a 36 hours to sort myself out a bit. I should be fine.
Errol is being plagued by awful blisters.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon I'm feeling fine. Feeling good, strong, but my feet are sore. So I'm going to give them a break tomorrow and just rest in the camp, just sort them out. I think they're a bit infected, so I put myself on an antibiotic and putting some cream on, taking some anti-inflammatories. And I think if I can get about 36 hours, I'll hopefully sort them out. I'll strap them up well, look at my boots a bit, and I should be fine in about 36 hours.
We've got a couple of options from here. Either way, we have to get up Motorcycle Hill, and different teams have different strategies. We're taking it really easy. So we'll probably have a rest day, take some of our gear up there, so when we head off the next day, we don't have to pull a full sled up that nasty hill.
That nasty hill ahead is inaptly named Motorcycle Hill. And there won't be any racing up there today. Its nagging presence is in the back of everyone's mind, as they contemplate the route ahead. They'll need to reserve their energy for the notoriously tough Windy Corner. As the name implies, Windy Corner experiences severe blasts and turns many climbers around.
I think it's silly to try and speculate like how soon we're going to get up and all that because of the great weather. We just got to be thankful we've had, flipping heck, just got to be thankful we've had good weather this far and take it one day at a time.
For now, this day was over, but just as the sun dipped below the horizon, the silence was suddenly shattered.
Check the eyes in their rods.
How's that, Sean?
Awesome. It's been too warm, and I promise you the rest of this place is going to go as well. A wild avalanche. Hey, wild, that was an awesome avalanche, but yeah, I reckon that thing was coming straight for our tent. Check all those blocks out there. Awesome. A lot of tons and tons there. It's because it's too warm out there, and who knows what's coming next.
Well, avalanches are the least of the good Dr. Errol's troubles.
I've been thinking about it for a while, Sean. Ultimately, this was really supposed, in my mind, was not just a training for Everest, but a test for me to see whether I was up to these type of conditions for this amount of time. And I've really sort of come to the conclusion that probably from a physical point of view I would have coped, but from just an age point of view, in a family situation, it's hell of a difficult. And I don't want this situation, I didn't want this situation arising a month before the Everest trip or on the Everest trip. So I want it happening now, so that ultimately it's out in the open and that the issues can be resolved in time without problems coming at the last moment.
Errol has decided to pull out of not only this expedition but the whole process, which is cool. Errol, I appreciate that the decision is made now. Okay, then the third thing is Daishan wants to rest today.
My legs are shot.
Now the thing is, I can't make you go, but I need to just explain the risks of that, okay? The risks of staying here today, if the weather does come down and you're stuck down here, you've only got a couple of days of food. So, the question is, does anyone else want to rest today? Because obviously we can't leave one person here. I mean, this is aside from the Errol issue.
I think that we've been pushing hard because the weather's good, and on this mountain you have to move when the weather's good, and I think we need to harness this day because the weather's changing, and tomorrow I think it potentially could be quite bad, and it's going to get pretty windy around that corner, and I think hanging around is not really an option. And they think like, well, according to my program it's a rest day, you have to move when the weather's good and you sit when the weather's bad. So I think we have to move today.
First thing, you're up to it.
Hey, it'll be a slow job, but we'll get there.
Be up to it. I
Yeah.
promise you, you're going to get caught here, and you don't get
Yeah,
caught
no,
here.
hey, even if it takes me 6 hours around the corner,
You
I'll
know,
be there.
I understand everything you're saying, but it doesn't make my legs feel any better. And I know what it's going to be like to go up there. And I know if I get 1 day's worth of rest, I'll be fresh and I'll be faster than I have been. I need rest. Besides, it's not the way you climb Everest. You go up a day and you come back and you rest a day. And you go up another couple of days and you come. Yeah, but this is preparation for Everest. This is what we're doing here. We're trying to get ourselves ready for Everest.
Well,
and you don't climb Everest 6 full days without getting 1 day of rest.
We haven't really got time to.
climbing this for
When
Everest.
the weather's
I'm
good, we
climbing
move.
this to climb the mountain.
That's the bottom line. And we're here to achieve results, and that's what we've got to do. And there's 8 of us here, not just one person.
What you're saying is that the expense of getting to the summit or of getting up this mountain shouldn't be sacrificed for one person. You must get up there if the weather conditions are good and get off the mountain.
No, I don't mind sacrificing it for a numerous amount of people, but there's a formula to climb this mountain. You have to move when the weather's good.
Tell me what you've done in terms of weather before when it's been bad.
Well, yeah, I can see the weather's changing now, and it's a lot colder today, and the wind's starting, so who knows what tomorrow's going to give.
You can actually see the wind plumes coming up already, and they weren't there yesterday. So that's a concern.
The secret is to get out of 11,000, which is a weather hole, and get into 14. And once you're into 14, then you can rest and relax and, you know.
What was your experience here at the park?
Well, I've been snowed in here for 9 days before, and didn't get higher in 98. And then 2000, the weather was quite good, but it was still windy and cold, and you've got to get around Windy Corner. We move and it's good. If we hang around for another day, you know, it could cost us 6 days.
Well, there's 101 things that we need to work out here because
Complicated because of me now. Just take this bloody camera out of my face, please.
Sean, not keen on being photographed.
I think those are
One day back.
Deshaun, are you 100% sure we can't work something out with your gear in that? And just take like the whole day?
My gear, it's the fact that my legs are shot, okay? You saw it yesterday. It's not much better today, I promise you that.
I think the gist of the story is that we're not going to convince Deshaun to go up for another day. Our legs are gone. It's what we do about it that counts.
I'd have liked to think that I was tougher physically. But I'm not. These mountains just prove that to me. I'm very tough mentally, and that's kind of stood me in good stead over the past few days. But I would have liked to know that I could keep up with the guys, and it's another thing that I've learned. I can't do that. They're just so much stronger than I am. It kind of makes me understand how weak I am in the team, you know, and I don't like that. I don't like that.
Sean, go on. You'll do well, sure. Just taking and make a good movie.
Thanks.
Errol joins up with an expedition heading back down to base camp. 11,000 feet is as high as he'll get.
Cheers, Errol.
The rest of the team have another 10,000 to go. Motorcycle Hill, Windy Corner, and up to Camp 4 at 14,000 feet. Fortunately, the weather held, and the team moved on from Camp 3 up to Camp 4 at 14,000 feet. David Kerr decides to wait with Deshaun at Camp 3 until she is strong enough. The route into Camp 4 passes the spectacular Western Buttress. It soars 18,000 feet into the crystalline Alaskan air. The sleds are lighter now, bearing only the essentials necessary for no more than a few days before those who are strong enough head for the summit. The weather appears to be deteriorating, and as strange as it may sound, this might just serve the team well. They need a few days' rest to acclimatize before heading up to the high camp at 17,000 feet. Camp 4 serves as an advanced base camp and is roughly halfway to the top. Weather conditions here can be extreme, so the tents are dug well into the ice with high surrounding snow walls. Meanwhile, Aldous and Wisedale are having great success with their mobile TV studio, keeping everyone at home in touch with the team's progress. Their portable solar charger catches the last few rays to charge the batteries. Later that night, the weather turns for the worst, and a windstorm rocks the camp, making it impossible to get any sleep. The next day, Disney and Wisedale are thoroughly snowed in and have to be dug out.
We were about half a meter under the snow. Hectic windstorm last night. Shot Robin, dig us out, man.
Anything for you, buddy.
Whew. Thank goodness I'm alive.
A few members of an American expedition aren't as lucky. All of their equipment is completely destroyed after a gas stove exploded. Fortunately, no one was injured, but their climb is over. The steepest section of the climb lies ahead, a giant head wall leading up to 16,000 feet. After a day's rest and with fair weather still prevailing, it's all systems go. The program for today is to climb to the top of the head wall, drop off a load of food and tents, and then return to Camp 4 to recover. This up and down process will aid acclimatization when the team commit to the final push for Camp 5 and the summit. The first section of the head wall is fairly moderate terrain, and then after about 1,200 feet, it leads to a 55-degree ice face that's as slippery as glass. The challenge is to ascend into the debilitating thin air and reach the cache point before rough weather sets in. The ice face is crevassed in places, and so these fixed lines are for everyone's safety. And like any other mountaineering rope, they should never be trodden on.
Go for it.
From near the top of the head wall, the views are outstanding, and Camp 4 becomes a mountain mini-land. Five hours later, the weather deteriorates just as Sean Disney tops out on the ridge. As fast as possible, he digs deep to cache his supplies from the thieving wind. Mike Aldous is also well relieved to be able to lighten his pack.
Well done, Mike.
Yeah. Here we are.
Then it's back down to Camp 4 to the comfort of an icy tent. The good news is that Deshaun and Dave are making their way up from Camp 3.
I'm still alive. That's important. I've got all my toes and fingers. And I can handle you sticking the camera in my face. I'm not in all that bad shape. Sure. It's actually quite beautiful up here. We've had very good weather. I'm very pleased about that. We got a bit of wind, but you know, we didn't get blown off the mountain, so that's good news, right?
Yeah, they struck it perfect coming up today. I mean, their timing was spot on. And we had some howlers the last few hours, but now it's gone. Now it's like we're back down at sea level, which is amazing. So we're just gonna take it one day at a time and see how long our luck holds out there. It's been 6 days on the trot. Everyone's feeling good. No one's complaining about altitude, which is great. So I think we're spot on track.
Deshaun and Dave immediately go about settling in, and it's all fun and games for the moment. At Camp 4 there are 2 pit latrines. On the rest of the mountain, everything must be removed in durable, decomposable plastic bags. The rule is that he who's most full of it carries it, and in this case, it's Alex. While the others recover, it's time for David and Deshaun to make their acclimatization push up the head wall.
Time to go a bit higher again, so we're going to head on out up the head wall. Going to rope up about halfway up. Just going to drop a cache up top, try and take it easy. It's going to be a bit of a slog, it's a long day. Probably counting about 6 hours. Head back down for a good night's sleep. Yeah.
For Deshaun, it's going to be a very, very long day.
I've been having a lack of iron supplements in my system, so it obviously plays a role in supplying the bloodstream with oxygen, which retards the acclimatization process. Also leaves me out of breath quite a bit when I go uphill, but we'll take it slow, see how far we get. That's all I can do right now, just give it my best shot. Sean, thank you. I'll need it.
Deshaun makes it up to 16,000 feet. But that's as high as she'll climb before she retires from the expedition.
Yeah, it's a great day, and just packed up at 14,000 camp. Pressure's been rising steadily. There's a strong high pressure over us, so hopefully we're going to get a good 2 to 3 days, and we're heading up the fixed lines to 17,000 camp, which is just up there. We've got about a kilometer in altitude to go, and we should get in there before 8 o'clock tonight, and we'll see what the weather does tomorrow and potentially go for the summit tomorrow, or alternatively have a rest day and go for the summit the next day.
The weather remains favourable, and so the team must move on. The team strike camp, and with their tents they follow the route back up the head wall and then traverse a narrow ridge up to the high camp at 17,000 feet. Above 16,000 feet and up to the high camp, the route is the most spectacular part of the climb. Because the weather's been so unbelievably good for so long, everyone is fatigued from the continuous progress and struggling into the thin air. At the high camp, the team will rest for at least 12 hours before taking on the Denali Pass towards the summit. Ahead lies an 8-hour slog and another 5 back down. The next day, conditions seem ideal for a summit bid, and final preparations are made.
It's a bit breezy. They reckon 20 to 30 miles gusting winds, but that's cool. There's just not a speck of cloud anywhere in the sky. It's unbelievable, actually. We've been so lucky with weather. So
Boys are all kitting up. We're going to set off and yeah, let's just hope that the wind doesn't get too strong up there, because that will be unpleasant. And if it gusts, it's fine, you know. It's just when it's a continuous nagging, soul-destroying wind that's a pain. But I think we're going to be lucky. Got to get up to Denali Pass first, though, and take it from there.
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. It's probably the most beautiful range I've ever seen. But you just got to be very careful, because there's really steep drop-offs and narrow ridges that you've got to come across to get you.
Forgot to get the summit. Man, it's been a long time, man. Number 6, I can't say I'm not chuffed. I'm actually absolutely chuffed.
Standing on the summit of Denali, and just got to get down now. Alex, Robin and Dave have summited. I'm waiting for Sean and Mike to come up.
Mike Aldous is the last up and carefully edges his way along the ridge.
Finally, we're here. What a mission, but man, what a view. This is absolutely spectacular.
There's a great spirit of achievement as the team celebrate on the highest point in North America.
It's flippin' freezing up here, but hell, what a view! I can't believe it. The top of North America. Woo! Woo!
They worked hard together as a team and they deserve the victory.
Tell you what, it's been a long 10 years, but hell, none of those days have been as long as today. Once again, here we are up in the pounding wind. It's about minus 40, but it's clear we can see as far as one could hope to see in North America. Man, it's been a good trip. Thanks, guys.
Op 'n bietjie 'n ander manier as gewoonlik. Derek, something quite exciting to start off.
Some news is just breaking here. A group of South African climbers have just summited Mount McKinley. It's the highest mountain in North America. It's in Alaska. And what is significant is it's part of the 7 summits bid by some South African climbers. It's called the Discovery Everest 2003 expedition. This is really a warm-up, if that's the right term, when you're climbing in snow, for Everest next year.
In the next episode, the team take on the highest and the toughest, Mount Everest. Join them for this epic climb. Don't miss it.